Welcome back to Rising World, friends. I'm going to do a quick catch-up of what's been happening here at Lair Safari Lodge. We have been doing a little bit more decoration, and so I'm going to show you what I've done, and we'll take it from there. I put in these swinging doors to close off the workshop from the entryway. I just love those. And so what's happened in here is probably the biggest thing. I have been busy. I realized I didn't have a sink, so I made a sink. And I will put in a time lapse of making the sink at the end of this little tour. And I've added this faucet here. This is a blueprint by Cursed Existence, a user called Cursed Existence. He's on the forums, and you can find this blueprint in the blueprints list. And I've been busy with a lot of other blueprints. This grouping of steak and eggs ready to go upstairs to the guests is by Ya Giggle. And but I did not find an awful lot of other food or little things that we needed in the kitchen, so I decided to make some of my own. This basket of eggs is by let's see, that one is by Alpha Godith. She also has this same basket without the eggs. It's an empty basket. That looks pretty nice too. These bowls are by the user called Chanel. And this pot of stew is by Cursed Existence. The stew itself had sort of a dark, it was either black or very dark broth. And I just painted the broth a lighter color so that it had more contrast. But I got busy too. So this little spoon here I made. This plate I made. We have a pizza that I made on the plate. And my set of knives. Over here, I made some glasses with cola and ice cubes and a bunch of silverware. And these plates are the same as this plate. And I discovered something when I was creating these blueprints that just delighted me. And that is that once you create your blueprint, you can shrink or enlarge it to any size, basically. So you could make something really large because it's easier to work on when it's large, and then shrink it down as a blueprint and use it. So that is actually really cool. Now you cannot distort it, but you can enlarge or shrink it. This is my attempt at spaghetti and meatballs. Yeah, I don't know that it looks like spaghetti and meatballs, but it looks like something. And there's my silverware that I made. And this tray, I made the tray. And the cola. What else do we have? As far as blueprints. This is very simple, but it delights me just the same. I have a pizza peel. Since I was making pizza and we have an oven, we had to have something that you could, pull the pizzas and the breads and stuff out of the oven. So I made one of those. I'm going to put on the blueprints list on the I call it the RW, but the Rising World Forum. I'm going to put all of these blueprints. I've never actually uploaded a blueprint before, but I think it's time. Oh, and you notice, I don't know if I showed this in the last video, but this pipe here is for my range hood. And I went ahead and I was going with the lanterns, but I haven't been happy with them. So I installed a light here. It's a bit bright. All of the lights seem to be a bit too bright. Oh, and I don't know if this was in my last video either. I just don't remember. But I went ahead and put this metal plate on top of the grates and tested it. And you can indeed cook on the metal plates. And since we have a grill outside, I decided these need to be solid like a stove. So like a griddle. So you can cook on it. I stored some candles down in here, and I'm thinking about putting other things down in here just to, you know, dress it up. I haven't done that yet. I've got all of these boxes, and some of them don't have anything in them. So I was thinking I might move. So this one's got stuff in it, but I might move the foodstuffs out of here. This, by the way, is something that's in the creative game, but it's not in our game yet. Ginger root. So I created that so I could see what it looked like, which tells me that recipes are coming our way. Also, carrot slices. That's pretty cool. And a pear. None of those things are in our game in survival, but they are in the items list. So I'm thinking that we might actually be getting some cooking recipes soon, which I think is something we need. I'm just moving this stuff to put it in another box because I'm thinking I'm going to change these shelves to storage of plates and glassware and that kind of thing. So let's move this stuff. And I'm going to have to label these boxes because I never know what's in them. Okay, what else is in here? Let's go ahead and use this one too. All right, so this one, pick it up and pick this one up. Not sure about this one. Yeah, there's nothing in it. I'll leave that for now. Okay, so I thought before I do anything else, I would show you the blueprinting process. Not make a blueprint, but putting one down. So let's go over here and grab a blueprint. I want the stack of plates. And so I'm hitting F. 6 glasses. Let's start with that. Oops. Okay, so let's put our stack of plates. And it's nice that the blueprint itself, the box is not huge and you can move it around easily. So let's put that here. In fact, let's hit Control. Yeah, I think I'll put 2 stacks. Oh, I meant to hit Control and I didn't do it. Let's do that again. Oh, I forgot. I'm in survival, so you do have to keep making the blueprint. So let's make 2 more. All right. Oh. I put another stack right here. Oops. It's a little off. I think I'm going to, oh, no, there is a if you do it quickly, you can undo. So undo. Oh, it only works in creative mode. Dang. I'm going to do that real quick. Let's just see if this will work. So I don't like where I put that. See if it's, I think you have like 5 minutes or something to do it. Yes. Okay, cool. So let's change it back. Sorry about that. Let's change it back to regular survival mode. And oh, did I lose my plates? I did. Okay, well, let's go ahead and put the glassware down. And so I'm just using the arrow keys to turn it around. These are empty glasses. And I noticed something really fun. If you use just clear glass, I tinted them slightly blue, but if you use just clear glass, you can't really see them very well, even if you tint them. So I used the ribbed glass, or the glass with the, I guess it's ribbed, I don't know. And when you shrink it, it twists. And so it created these twisted lines on the glassware, and it's actually kind of cool. So let's just put that one, I'll put it right here. So there's my glasses. So I need to make a few more of those. And it takes, at the current time, it takes lumber, which I have enough of. And that's all it takes, which you would think it would need like different kinds of resources, like at least paper. And I remember in the old game, I thought it took gold or something to make it more expensive, but it doesn't anymore. So we'll see what he does with that. Let's do a couple more of these. And where did my glasses go? Okay. think I have room for one more set. Cool. All right. So then I want to place some smaller plates, and let's just reduce those. So I'm hitting Shift and the down arrow or the left arrow. Either one does the same thing, or the page down arrow does this. They all just make it smaller. So we'll go with like 6.5, I think. Yeah. Oh, and I was going to do another one over here. Let's see if I hit enter. No. Nope, it still doesn't work. It puts it underneath. That's very weird. Okay. So we'll turn the grid back off and just eyeball it. Huh. Oh, it's still a little off, but I'll live with that. It looks okay. Now I'll tell you a little secret about how these plates are made. What this is Yagigel used milk glass, which makes them sort of translucent, which is really cool. And I used porcelain. It's in the tiles section. I just did the thinnest I could go with the cone, and I turned the cone upside down so that it would have a really thin edge. And then I flattened it as much as I could. Well, not as much as I could. I actually brought it back out a little bit so that it had a little bit of a slope to the underside. And then I put a piece of white porcelain as thin as I could go on top. And beneath is a ring of porcelain. So it's 3 pieces to make the plate. But it turned out okay. I mean, it's obviously, if we had more of a cupped piece, that would work better. But we don't, so this is what we got. But, I mean, it gives the illusion of plates. Just kind of cool. All right, well, I'm going to do more of that sort of thing. I think what I will do is I made these trays, which you can also make bigger or smaller. So I think I will take a tray and put over there and fill it with silverware. So what I'm trying to do here is create something that looks like a kitchen you might see at a lodge where they're making meals for guests. So then the other thing that I started working on is, in fact, I'll go upstairs here. Oh, I forgot to mention this lovely centerpiece is also by Chanel. So it's her same bowl vase thing with flowers in it. That turned out really well. And I decided to take her bowl and color it a different color and put ferns in it. And I did this in creative, of course, so that I could shrink the ferns, and you can't plant ferns in a bowl unless you're in creative. And then the dirt is the loam block, but it's a sphere that's flattened. So that's kind of cool. And I got started on my stairs. I haven't quite decided how this is gonna be finished up, but I made them out of curved pieces. And out here, I'm going to build my swimming pool. And I think it's going to be raised up a little bit, so it's not going to be ground in. It's going to be in the ground, but a little bit out of the ground, if that makes sense. So like halfway in and halfway out. So it might come up to like here. So these stairs may be changed a little bit. I have supports under it, but I haven't figured out exactly what's going to happen here. So all I did with this is I used the half cylinder and made it as big as I could. And then the sides were not even, so I just put some blocks in to even up the sides. And it turned out okay. I was pleasantly surprised. And it works all right. As long as you make them the right size, you can do your own stairs. And I actually moved the fence here a little bit so that I'd have room for my swimming pool. But anyway, so I'm going to leave you with a quick time lapse of building the sink. It was really simple and I just wanted to show it to you. So this will be the next thing. And I am going to start a series of how to build videos, little short ones. I'm going to try and keep them to, 15 minutes or so, of all the different methods to build and just little tips. So that'll do it for me, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Okay, so this is me building the sink base. I'm just using the same sizes of wood that I used for the cabinets. And I'm just checking the size again, putting it in there. And I'm going to get the countertop, hit insert. I'm doing a lot of fiddling around trying to get it in the right place and make it the right size. If you notice, I keep changing the increments of the sizing, and I'm changing the grid. That's because I'm trying to get it to move the distances that I want it to and sit into the right place. And the grid, using the grid like that is very helpful. If you have the grid set on like 1, it's gonna go all over the place and you won't really understand why. And I'm just putting in the back of the sink there. And I'm doing all of this using the manual positioning tool because I find that that is just the easiest way to do most things. I'm changing the grid size again to get it to snap into the right spot. And I'm not using snapping. I'm just using the grid and manual positioning. Okay, so the next part is the sink itself, and I made porcelain blocks. This is the inner corner. I think it's called it's arc inner corner, something like that. And I'm just going to size it to be more sink-like. Just a lot of fiddling around. And because there wasn't anything to get it in the right spot to hold on to, I had to just kind of position it and then move it into place using the manual positioning, which I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of testing to see that it's touching there by moving it in until it disappears and then bringing it back out. Okay, that one's done. And the manual positioning is still on. I haven't changed it, so now I'm just rotating it and moving it into position. Easy as pie to do it that way. I tend to keep things on the smaller increments, and it is a little bit slower, but it just seems to be easier to me to get them into, you know, more precise spots if I'm not using snapping. Okay, got the corners in. And now I need to figure out what to do with the inside or the middle. So I'm going to change this to an arc, an inner arc. That one. And I did use insert to get it to the right size. It doesn't change the shape, just the size. And notice I turned it in and rotated it, and then I hit enter for some reason, and you'll notice that it just doesn't want to snap in the right direction. So I turned that back off. And that's what often happens when you use the snapping is if you're doing something that isn't block after block after block using snapping that snaps in the normal way, it just throws you off. I find. There we go. Now we have our basin. And I downloaded a faucet here from the blueprints on the forums. And this is the faucet by Cursed Existence, or Cursed Existence. I believe that he did the faucet. Yeah. He or she, I don't actually know. I'm trying to figure out where the center is because the line on the texture is not in the center. But the window is kind of where I'm centering on. It's not perfect, but it'll work. Oops. Okay. And to set the blueprints, you do use a right click. Now I'm looking for, I thought I had some black material, and I do actually. It's just that it's black and I can't see it. I can't see it in the inventory boxes there. In the one of those chests had some black material in it and I couldn't see it. I did later on make signs for all these chests because it was very disorganized. And I'm going to make, what I'm looking for is the black. That's pretty black. And I'm going to use this to make the hole, to make the illusion of a hole, the drain. And the flange around the drain. Okay. Whenever I'm sizing things, I'm usually paying attention to the size numbers that are at the bottom there of the screen. They're both on the left-hand side and in the center when you're actually doing the sizing. Sometimes you can overlook that, but it's very helpful to see what you're doing. And here I did use snapping to get that right in the center. And there we go. We have a sink.